So there's been a pretty big update with the Akio Air situation. However, all of that information was directly communicated to False ID, so I don't have access to it and can't do my own independent reporting. So since I can't do that, instead of what I'm going to do is I've watched this entire video, I'm going to highlight some key points, and I'm also going to try and add my own commentary and my own insight, just so it's not a highlight reel of his video that you could just go watch. So the first thing that I want to say is, in the previous video I mentioned that only 2 of the season 2 talents ever actually debuted as Akio Water. However, what I did not mention, and it appears I overlooked this, all 4 original season 1 talents left. There are actually only 2 talents working at this company. And I feel like I could end the video right there. Only 2 human beings can tolerate working at this company, and that says a lot in my opinion. But let's go through the actual details because it just gets wilder from there. So in the video that I made, I covered this post and I said I didn't know where it came from because I couldn't find the original tweet. Turns out this message from Athi that I displayed in the previous video was deleted 2 hours after it was posted. I didn't know that, and I didn't know that until I watched this video. So yeah, it was a valid post. She just deleted it. And with all of the legal threats that happened during this whole situation, I honestly don't blame her. It sounds like Jason, the CEO of Akio Air, was ready to sue everyone over everything. There's a lot of stuff that False covers in this video that I'm not going to cover. For example, I've already covered Athi's announcement and the announcements of a lot of other talents, so I'm only really going to zero in on the information that was directly sent to him that I can't access on my own, because the public information I've already covered. So there's a couple of interesting points in this document that was sent to False. First of all, apparently the reason Athi joined is because she wanted to keep her indie persona Athena Nightingale, and other companies wouldn't let her do that. However, she immediately started running into problems, and they almost didn't debut Gen 1. They weren't prepared, and they wanted to delay their debuts, but Jason didn't want any delays. But they ultimately convinced him to delay their debut. And in this screenshot from 2022, Jason even admits that he straight up doesn't know what he's doing because he's never done this before. And I really got the impression while watching this video that Jason has literally no clue what he's doing. And you're going to find out why as we go through these screenshots. Another thing that I found interesting while going through this video is the fact that Jason is so much more concerned with public image than he is with the actual talents. And he convinces Athi to delay leaving because he thinks it would look bad to have 2 talents leave simultaneously, despite the fact that she was under extreme pressure from her real nursing job and started developing mental health issues and needed to leave. He pressured her into sticking around. And to quote this segment at the bottom, I decided to stay because Jason promised to support more of my projects and even fund 1 cover song a month at least. That never happened as I continued to ask for support. So he is saying and promising literally anything to get people to stay and then not delivering on his promises. Also, not only did she stay with the company despite being a physical mental health wreck, she wrote, composed, and directed the group's debut song back in 2021 and didn't even ask to get paid. But since it was, quote, not up to Jason's standards and they lacked the funds to get proper animators for the music video, the release was delayed by a year. Which is pretty disrespectful as the entire point of the debut song is to premiere it at their debut. She worked during her shifts at the hospital to finish this song and it never got used. All because Jason consistently can't keep his promises and do his part of the job. And despite Jason's multiple promises of support, Athi constantly has to beg him to get paid. And she says, quote, I have been funding large chunks of my projects lately, and now I don't have any money left to keep funding them with my own earnings. All of the money I have earned from VTubing so far has just gone back into projects and equipment and assets, and I feel kind of burnt out. And if you're unclear what she's referring to, the original understanding is that he was going to pay to have her do a song cover every month. But doing a song cover every month with her own time and her own budget is genuinely impossible. And when she comes to Jason with this issue, he says, we have accounting issues. We just can't give you a stipend. That being said, I think the production of covers has been too fast, and I think it would be best if we slow down the cover productions a bit. So, reminder, the entire reason she agreed to stay was him agreeing to help her do covers. Then he didn't. She did it all on her own, and when she asked for the help he promised, he's like, just don't do them. Just ramp down the productions of the cover song if this is taking a toll. Really, my dude? That's your response to someone asking for your help? Is to just not do the thing they need your help with? Come on, man. Also, apparently, they have to specifically request to get paid every single time. Jason, would it be possible to get paid soon? I need to buy a new interface, yada yada yada. I'm $300 short. Fucking pay me. My words, not hers. And his response is, I'll send you the PayPal because bank routing would take some time. So he can't figure out how to expeditiously pay people through a proper wire transfer, so he has to use PayPal. And when she says she's $300 short, he offers to send her $300 or $400. Now, I don't know how much she is actually owed, but I have a sneaking suspicion it's probably more than $300 or $400. Hi, boss man, just wondering when I will be paid next. Jason, I'm in Japan. I try, no promise, am in a mountain. Not only can this man not get payments in order, not only can he get his own workload in order, apparently he can't even get a sentence in order. By God. Even the little things he fucks up on. Not getting paid, not getting paid, not getting paid, you get the idea. When Athi finally decides she's had enough and wants to leave, he tells her, our contract is not an employment contract, and therefore you can't leave. It has to be a mutual contract termination. Now, guys, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how this stuff works, but I'm relatively certain you can't force someone to continue working for you against their will. I don't know. Maybe I'm the idiot here, but I'm pretty sure forced labor is illegal. And I like how the first thing he does when she says she wants to quit is to say not only that she can't, but he says, I don't wish to enter a legal battle. He later says, we will agree to your graduation, but we need more time since we are very tight up on the moment. Hey boss, fuck this job, I quit. You can't quit. I'm busy. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think that's how being employed works. I'm just saying. As time passes, Athi does what we all know she did, which is express her displeasure and desire to leave this company. On Twitter, she gets this series of messages where he basically says, hey, we were gonna let you leave peacefully, but then you did this, so now you can't quit. You're gonna tell everybody on Twitter that you're not gonna quit, and you're gonna apologize for saying that you were gonna quit. And you're gonna continue the contract's obligations until the expiration of the contract term. And if you wanna quit, we want a formal 14-day notice, all of the above demands, and we want you to pay us for the damages caused by you quitting. So just to clarify, the options he gives her are apologize and retract all of her statements and stay after she clearly said she's not going to, or apologize, retract all of her statements, stay for 14 more days, and then give him money. I'm being so serious right now. I would have convinced legal not to pursue you because honestly speaking, you did help a lot with the company, and now there's no way I can convince anyone to not take legal action on you. You better think of a settlement condition right now, or legal will be serving you the letters. And can I just say, it is hilarious and bizarre to me that he treats his legal team, this team of lawyers he allegedly has, like unhinged rabid dogs on a leash that he's not capable of controlling. If he does have lawyers on retainer, they work for him. If you hire a legal team, your legal team does what you pay them to do. And if your lawyers are so fucking rabid, they're not following your orders, fire them. You don't get to pretend like, oh, it's not me, it's the lawyers who will come after you. You fucking pay them. They're not gonna come after her if you tell them not to. That's not how this works. This is an employment contract, not a fucking warlock pact, okay? There's no demonic force that's gonna rain hellfire from the skies if she doesn't do exactly what you want. You are in complete control and you're pretending you're not because you have no idea how any of this shit works. And in case you need further proof that he has absolutely no idea how contracts or the law works, Athi says, I'm just streaming on my old channel. You never said I wasn't allowed to. And he says, you have a contract with Akio Air. Okay, and unless it's specifically in the contract that she can't do that, she can do that, and there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it. This guy is just like inventing stipulations for the contract that she signed that were never in the original contract. Because he has genuinely no clue what he's doing. Reminder, as he said at the beginning of this whole document train, this is his first time doing this. And he fully admitted that he's struggling because he has no fucking idea what he's doing. Honestly, reading through these DMs is such a painful experience. Athi saying, can you please send me a termination contract soon? I'm not scared about legal repercussions, by the way, which is hilarious because that's been Jason's like big smoking gun the entire time is, oh, what about the legal consequences? What about the legal consequences? I'm not scared. Love it. Queen behavior. Please read the contract again before legal catches you on more contract shenanigans. Again, treating legal like he doesn't actually employ them. What the fuck? I did and I don't see the issue. She even offers to let him keep her channel up and take all of the revenue from her channel and Spotify if she can just leave. Which to me is absolutely wild. I would never give up a penny to this man in this situation, but she's a better person than I am. Or possibly just more tired than I am. He goes, why are you making this more difficult for both of us? Bro, she clearly stated she just wants to leave. You are such a whiny little bitch. I won't take any more money from Akio Air or my channel. Bro, how is that making things more difficult for you? She is obviously cooperating. Jason is fucking insufferable, dude. Announce that it was simply a mistake. I will write whatever you want, just let me leave. This is no longer about leaving peacefully. This is a 100k damage versus 10k damage situation now. Referring to the fact that he believes Athi owes him $100,000. $100,000 in damages for leaving early. This is not how quitting works. You don't have to pay your boss money to not work for your boss anymore. These numbers come from nowhere. He's just making shit up because he's angry. And she says, so I will have to pay even if I say it's a mistake? And he's like, you already caused damages, ma'am. I'm already feeling the effects of this announcement. So right there, he straight up admits that he's demanding money from her because he's mad. Then in another gross display of incompetence and evil, he says, I don't know how the US healthcare system works. Which, I mean, fair, you live in Taiwan. Gross negligence is used a lot in medical-related trials and lawsuits. A record regarding a civil lawsuit involved with gross negligence is probably not a good look for a hospital if a medical professional can cause gross negligence on other contractual stuff. What is to say they won't do it elsewhere? Again, I don't know if any US healthcare system would have cared. So simultaneously, he's admitting he has no idea what he's talking about, but also implies he's threatening her job and saying she could lose her job if she violates a contract because it looks bad. Something gross. Heard the term gross negligence on like the news and in like TV shows and just randomly thinks that medical gross negligence has literally anything to do with a civil court case, which it absolutely does not. They are not related. He's a moron who's making an empty threat because he's pissed. He goes on to beg her to reverse the announcement, more pretending that he doesn't control his own legal team. And Athi even gets sick of his shit and calls him out here. It's up to legal, not my call. Yes, but you are the CEO, so it is your call. I'm so proud of Athi for finally sticking up for herself and calling Jason out on his bullshit because he's a complete and total fucking moron. And in case you need further proof that Jason is genuinely evil in this case, Athi says, it is so unfair the way you guys have treated us for the past 2 years. How would a normal person respond to that? Apologize. At least explain why you were terrible to them. Say it's not going to happen again. Do anything a decent human being would do to acknowledge or rectify the terrible way you treated them. Or hell, even deny that the treatment wasn't that bad. What does he do? That won't hold up in court. Wow. Wow. He was accused of treating his talents like shit for 2 years straight. And his only response is, that won't hold up in court. What a bastard. Further proof that Jason is literally evil, Kathy says, does the company really hate me that much that it wants to destroy my life? And Jason's response at the bottom here, company is a machine run on logic. It lacked the emotion of a person. He is 100% admitting he is an emotionless husk that's just here to make money and doesn't care that his employee feels like the company is actively trying to ruin their life. What the actual fuck is wrong with him? Moving right along, they were talking about Nofi and how she is under 18, and Jason replied, she can legally vote. And Athy says, but I'm not from her country, you can't compare us. So basically telling him, don't impose your view of adulthood onto me, I'm not from your culture. And you know what his response is? You shouldn't use the eyes of the US to judge other culture. So quite literally, both people are accusing each other of the exact same thing, of imposing their opinions of someone else's culture and opinions of adulthood on the other. They're literally accusing each other of the exact same thing. And she immediately points this out and says, and you shouldn't use the eyes of Taiwanese law to judge either, throwing his own argument directly back in his face. And you know what he says after going on and on about how Taiwanese law and culture is different from the US and you shouldn't use those standards? Taiwanese law, only 20 is considered adult. Bruh! His whole argument is that Americans shouldn't impose their values on another country's laws and culture, and then literally just said their own law says Nofi isn't an adult. What? This man made a point and then immediately dismantled his own point. The unfathomable stupidity on display here. This whole conversation is basically continuing to argue about Nofi's age, where she points out, Jason, I talk about hentai a lot, and she's under 18, and his only response is, you don't have to talk about that in front of her. This whole argument goes back and forth and goes nowhere. Athy goes on to tell Jason that all of her friends have blacklisted her for being in a company with a minor in it. He doesn't care, and they both accuse each other of guilt-tripping each other. Another argument that goes nowhere. More of Jason begging her not to do anything, don't speak, don't do anything on your other accounts. Basically, this is just Jason begging her to shut the fuck up. Don't do anything until the contract is over, which, mind you, as we've covered multiple times so far, he's not letting her end the contract. He goes on to demand she agree to his demands all over again and insist it's her best move. She says, you are going to sue me anyways. She repeats, what's the point of resolving the scenario if you're going to sue me anyways? And he goes, because the damage you will be liable for is less. So if he agrees to all of her demands, he's going to sue her for $10,000 instead of $100,000. That's his big selling point, ladies and gentlemen. If you meet all of these unreasonable demands, I will sue you for less. It's so cartoonishly evil. It's unbelievable that an actual human being thinks this is a convincing argument at all. Also, fun fact, Jason offered to sell Athena's design to someone for $50. In case you were wondering how much he actually valued Athena Nightingale, there's your figure, about $50. Now here's where the story gets genuinely interesting from a VTuber news perspective, as Jason actually directly contacted False ID, accused him of spreading misinformation, even though he's literally only posted what he's received from Athena. And let's not fuck around. It's obviously Athena who's been spoon feeding him all of these documents. She's literally the only one who it could be from, even though False is insisting it's anonymous. No, it's not. It's clearly Athena. Jason then goes on to say that if he continues spreading news and misinformation, so just to clarify, just covering the story, in Jason's mind, is slander and defamation. This is a pretty blatant legal threat against False ID and his channel. And I gotta say, I love this meme because it summarizes the entire mess in one meme. Apologize or I sue. Classic meme. Now, a good chunk of the rest of this video is stuff we've already covered, such as Akio's public announcement in their Google Doc. He covers about everyone discussing their experience with Jason and Akio Air, which we already covered in the previous video. And this part is particularly fun. Jason offers someone a year of free Nitro if they break their NDA and give him everything they know about FaZe Connect. Can I just point out, even when he's just memeing around, everything this man says feels like a threat. He's literally got a meme with a gun when asking for dirt on a rival corporation. This man can't even post a meme without it feeling threatening. This man is just casually evil. Now, this is a particularly fun segment of the video. Ven is an investor in Akio Air, and he's got some choice words. He more or less admits that Akio Air is a black company, which, if you're not aware, is an insult thrown at a lot of Asian companies that exploit their workers. He then makes a joke about filing a motion to kill this idiot, referring to Jason, which honestly, mood, and then basically says that Akio Air has done nothing but lose money. The investor then complains about all the bad public press and poor public opinion, and then says, "Since I am an investor, the company has the responsibility to recover my money. I'm sorry to tell you, friend, he can't even pay his own employees. You ain't seen a dime of your investment back, dude. All that money you invested is gone." I also just want to point out, for some reason, False goes on this tangent about how Ven has a horny background for his Steam page and invests in crypto. I don't understand why this is relevant. Now, this segment is audio only, and I'm going to summarize it for you here. He says an anonymous organization, which I'm 99% sure is FaZe Connect because they were referenced earlier, says that someone attempted corporate espionage, which again was referenced earlier. This has to be FaZe Connect. And basically, there was stuff only given to people who applied to the company that was later leaked by members of Akio Air, so they know for a fact that the person who applied leaked this information to Jason. So basically, Jason is also guilty of corporate espionage. He goes on to cover some more reactions and announcements that I don't feel are immediately relevant to the central issue of how much of a fucking asshole Jason is. And honestly, that's the thesis of this whole video. One more thing that I forgot to mention while doing the edit here. At some point, Jason threatened to sue Athena and then demanded she go to Taiwan so he could actually sue her because he doesn't know how to sue internationally. He didn't say that, obviously, but it's heavily implied. He has no idea how to do an international lawsuit. So he's like, fly to Taiwan so I can sue you. How about no? Who would agree to that? You. Fuck you. I hate you. Fly to the opposite side of the world so I can sue. Fucking incompetent. I'm pretty confident that if Athie just blocks this dude and changes whatever account or PayPal she gave to him, there's probably nothing that he can do. I'm not saying he can't legally sue someone across international boundaries. That's obviously a thing. But I'm honestly starting to think this quote-unquote legal team doesn't exist. Because he keeps using them as a threat, but has actually not issued any official legal paperwork to initiate a lawsuit. I genuinely don't think this quote-unquote legal team even exists. It's just this nebulous organization that he uses as a threat to get people to comply. And I don't know the specifics of international law, and unlike Jason, I'm not going to pretend that I do. But I have to imagine an international lawsuit is so ridiculously expensive that chasing someone down for a couple $1,000s would at most cover the legal costs of initiating the lawsuit in the first place. You know what I mean? It's so ridiculously complicated and expensive to do something like that it's not even worth it to attempt it. Athie, in the 1 in a million chance you see this video, just block this idiot and never contact him again. I'm willing to bet he won't even sue you. That is not legal advice. I am not a lawyer. Do not hold me accountable if you take that advice. I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright, that was everything important in the video that I could think to discuss, and I'm looking at the record timer, and I'm at 110 minutes, which is longer than the original video. Wish me luck in the edit, guys. It's gonna take forever! The whole point was to summarize the video, and I took longer than the original video. God damn it. I'm so bad at my job. Anyway, bye guys.